Happy Easter, or Happy April, or Happy Fool's Day, whichever order you prefer. Welcome to your What's On guide for the month. And as the year goes on, the volume of circus offerings gets bigger. This month, not least, is the Circus Fest events at Roundhouse in London, which has got over 20 different events over the course of the month. But we'll come back to that later. First, I want to have a look at my icons, because you might have noticed I've added some more icons. So we've now split down the types of event into big top shows, building based shows, participatory events like conventions, and also the new one this month is the little picture frame for exhibitions. And in April, in Bristol, you can go to the Royal West of England Academy, see the Sawdust and Sequins exhibition, which is a major collection of historic and contemporary art that depicts the circus, and that's on until June. In Bradford, it's the last chance this month to see the Cupola exhibition, which has got some of the amazing costumes from Skinning the Cat. My sister went along and she got me a postcard, and they are like stunning, but there's also other circus ephemera in that exhibition as well. Costumes are also going to be on display at the National Centre for Craft and Design, who are launching a new exhibition called Performers, Politics and Pop Culture. So as well as costumes, they're going to have video work, photography and live activity of some sort. They're transforming the gallery for the summer into a place for participatory performing arts. And on the 28th of April, there is a grand opening, which includes a parade through the town, taster sessions and live acts. And then the final one of our exhibitions is from No Fit State Circus, who are working with the New Vic Theatre in Newcastle under Lyme as part of the Circus Past, Present and Future project, which is related to the 250th anniversary of Philip Astley's circus. And that exhibition is curated by Mark Robson, who I met when he was crowdfunding this beautiful book. So that's photography, and I'll be going up to see it. So, and No Fit State Circus have also got my first convention icon, because from the 13th to 16th they're hosting the State of Play convention, which is old school skill sharing, training, workshops. And that's going to then be followed by a 2-day state-of-the-art convention for thinkers, movers and shapers in the circus world to look at where things are going forward. My cat is making a crazy noise down on the floor. This is Wrong Cat. She is a troublemaker. Say hello, Wrong Cat. Meow. Meow. Okay. So my other convention icon is the BJC in Canterbury, which is British Juggling Convention, and that is a massive annual event for the juggling and object manipulation community, with shows and activity from the 3rd to the 9th. So if I move on to my tents, we'll start up in Edinburgh with Gandhi's Circus, who will then be moving to Dumfries, Penrith and Ellesmere Port over the course of the month. Big Kids Circus start in Paisley, and then they'll be heading for Balloch, Larkhall and Falkirk. Coming down into England, Paulo Circus are in York from the 5th to the 29th. Southport has got Planet Circus, who before they move on to Eccles and New Brighton. Circus Fantasia is in Warrington, then going to Winsford. And Circus Mondeo is in Dronfield until the 8th. And I don't know where they're going beyond that, because a lot of circus companies still will only publish a week's worth of tour in advance. But I put all the links to the companies in the description, so you can follow and see if a favourite group is coming near to you, or if you're looking for something later on in the month, you can check through the links and see what might be available that isn't quite here yet. And then in the Stoke-on-Trent area, as well as No Fit State Circus in Newcastle under Lyme, there's also going to be Circus Star beginning their tour this month on the 21st, and then they go on for a series of single night stands up in Lancashire and Yorkshire. Nottingham will be where Moscow State Circus are kicking off for April, and then they go through to Lincoln, Norwich and Derby. And then if we head down into the Midlands area, we can see Uncle Sam's starting off in Leicester, Uncle Sam's Great American Circus, and to give it its full title. Circus Fantastic are in Nuneaton, and last year they were going by the name of Circus Vladimir. If you were a fan of them, you might want to catch them again under the new title. Bromsgrove has got Circus Salai before they head up to Walsall and then to Wolverhampton. Charles Chipperfield Circus are in West Bromwich just until the 2nd, and then they're heading up to St Helens. If we go back over east, then the Wonder Circus is another name change. Last year it was part of the Mr Phipps Wonder Circus team, but this season they are the Wonder Circus, starting in Spalding up until the 2nd. In Sheringham, we've got Russell's International Circus, who then go on to Fakenham. Circus Tiana are in Harleston, and they've just made the sad announcement this is going to be the last year that they will be touring. So I've never seen them as a show, so I'm certainly going to be making an effort to try and catch them somewhere along the tour this year. Maybe not Harleston, it's the other side of the country from me, but I'll keep an eye on where they're going. And in Cambridge, Circus Wonderland starting out before they move down to Brighton, Devizes, Bicester and Leighton Buzzard. Circus Zaire are at Southend-on-Sea at the beginning of the month, and then we also know that they're heading to Brighton Racecourse, Fontwell Racecourse, Frimley and then Hastings by the end of April. Santa Circus, we've got their starting dates in Maidstone, and in London we've got Zippo's Circus, who are in Blackheath at the beginning of the month, and then Herne Hill. Then they're going to Yardley in Birmingham before heading to Bath. Circus Vegas are also in London at the start of the month in Harrogate, and they've not been on tour for a while. They're one of the EEC shows, the European Entertainment Corporation, the European Entertainment Corporation, who tend to cycle between different nationality shows for different years to keep the names fresh, I think. The Underbelly Festival is back again on London's South Bank, and they're opening up with Circus Abyssinia, who've got their show Ethiopian Dreams that I saw last year in Edinburgh. I don't know if it's going to be a longer version for this stand, but their acrobatics are outstanding. They're very highly skilled acrobats and contortionists as well. John Lawson Circus are starting in Ivor, and then they have got a lot of dates that they're touring around to as well. And Jane Miller's Circus, who start in Bristol and then moving down through Taunton, through Shaftesbury until they get to Wimborne in Dorset. And then the Netherlands National Circus, they're starting in Poole, and then they're heading east towards Southsea and then up to Didcot. Whew! And that leaves then the building-based shows. So of course we've got Blackpool Tower Circus and Great Yarmouth Hippodrome, the kind of staples. And Blackpool are also going to be hosting Cirque du Hilarious, who've got a couple of dates just over the Easter weekend, at Blackpool Opera House, and they're also at Wolverhampton Grand. Brighton Dome is hosting Tipping Point from Occam's Razor from the 5th and the 6th. Newbury Corn Exchange has got Nikki and JD with their show Not, it's the acrobatic dance I mentioned in previous videos. That's on the 20th. Pontio in North Wales is one of the regular kind of circus focused venues, and on this month part of their offerings is A Tiger's Tale, which is M6 Theatre Company. I mentioned it last month. It's a theatre show, but it's based on a circus story. And then the other big circus venues are the Lowry in Manchester. They have got Attrape Moi on the 3rd from the Canadian company Flip Fabrique. And they have got Meta's Little Mermaid from the 10th to the 14th. And they've got Natalie Reckitt's new show with Mark Moreau, Natalie Inside Out, on the 20th. And this is one that I really want to see, so I'm looking for their other dates as well, because they're combining visual technologies with Natalie's hand balancing, and I really enjoyed the last show I saw from her, so I'm keeping my eyes out for that one. In Circus Media, again, there's quite a lot of shows coming through this month. On the 5th, Alula Sear presenting Hyena, because it was snowed off in March, so that's a new date that's been added. On the 12th, John Paul Zaccarini has got his show Head, and this is another one I can show you the book. When I was in Belgium last week, John Paul Zaccarini is one of the presenters, so I've got here the book that he's been making from his research. He is now a professor of circus at Dock in Sweden, but he's still making work as well, so I'm hopefully going to be seeing that. And then on the 19th, Paper Doll Militia, who are a Scottish circus creation company, have got their new show Egg. Cirque Berserk are on tour. They're starting at Stratford East in London, and then they'll be moving to Norwich, to Wickham, and then back to London for 2.5 weeks at the Harold Pinter Theatre. And also in London, the Lyric Hammersmith has got Hiccupy Theatre with their show To the Moon, which is an adaptation of their circus theatre show Moonfall, but this is specifically for 2 to 5 year olds on freestanding rigs. They can perform it in different spaces. And I said I'd come back to Circus Fest, didn't I? So if we have a look at their programme, then we can see on their website, and also I will link that below as well so you can get the full details, that the festival runs from the 3rd of April through until the first week of May. We've got brand new premieres, the new show from Pirates of the Caribbean. Fram and Dunt is a father and daughter show, which sounds really interesting because Francesca Hyde is an aerialist, but she's brought her dad in on this one. He's not a circus person up until now. The Becquerel Effect there was a really great French company I saw last year. There's films, there's discussion sessions, some of the shows that I have already mentioned or reviewed elsewhere. Head I mentioned, Staged I saw before Christmas, very cool. Sarab from the Palestinian Circus Company, that company were a previous Total Theatre Award winner. And there's also participatory activities for beginners, but also for circus professionals, producers and creators. So plenty to check out there. I'm only going to be able to make it up for a couple of the Circus Fest dates, but I will have reviews coming in for some of the other circus artists who write for the website, so keep your eyes peeled for those. I do want to say a massive thank you to everyone who supports us through the Patreon campaign at the moment. And if you don't yet, please do check out the link. Nobody funds this work except the community, so if you think it's useful information, do consider like a donation. I think it's $1 is the minimum. So yeah, Patreon is linked below. Thanks very much for watching. See you next time. Bye.